Yeah, I'm assuming Luke's taking the SAT next year, so
I'm going to get him on
Did he pre-enroll in your program, or do you still have to convince him?
I still have to convince him.
Strange, because it's proven success. You would think he would be jumping on the bandwagon already, but
100%
okay.
Success rate.
Strange decision, Luke, but you'll come around eventually.
He will, and if I see any materials studying-wise, I will rip it up.
Wow.
And burn it.
This is All Sports All the Time, episode number 93.
93.
Not going to bother you with who on the Eagles wears number 93. It's Javon Hargrave. I don't think you would
have
known that.
No way.
So we're not even going to waste our time with that.
I thought that he was in a...
Yeah.
Never mind.
He was supposed to be our huge free agency signing.
Yeah.
Him and Fletcher Cox were going to be monster D-tackles, and then he just kind of... He didn't really do anything.
Didn't happen. He didn't put anybody in the grave.
I get it. Javon Hargrave. That was good. That was great. All right, so we're going to start this episode off hot. We're not doing headlines or anything yet. We're going right into a segment because this segment is so good that you guys do not want to leave. So we're putting it right here so that you don't miss it. It's brand new. It's called Reversed Take. Let me explain. I'm sure most of you have heard of First Take, the wildly popular show that ESPN has.
Stephen A.
Max Kellerman. Basically, the way it works is they are presented with a topic, and then they debate, a.k.a. yell at each other.
For example, this is 100% right. Draymond Green, I pick him over Steph Curry all day, every day.
Yeah. And then Max kind of sits there and stares at Stephen A.
Andre Iguodala, all day, best three-point shooter.
Stuff like that. Who's the best? My favorite one that I've ever seen was a couple of months ago. Their actual topic they had was, who is the GOAT of the GOATs? And they had like Wayne Gretzky, Tiger Woods, Tom Brady, Serena Williams. And it's like, how are you supposed to even argue this?
Oh my gosh.
It gets ridiculous at points. But for those of you who have been around for not very long, it was like 3 weeks ago, we tried to imitate First Take, Parker and Luke. It didn't go very well. It ended with Luke falling out of his chair. It lasted like a minute. Very strange experience. So we've learned that way that we cannot replicate First Take. Also, last episode, Parker and I spent about half of it arguing about Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, various things around that.
So that's kind of like Reverse Take. Maybe we kind of imitated it.
Well, but no,
we were
arguing.
Nice about it. We were actually arguing.
So it was like First Take, but not as good. Anyway, so Parker and I are trying to agree more, is basically what I'm saying here. So Reverse Take, you'll find out, but it's the opposite of First Take. So here we go. Reverse Take. There's like nice music playing underneath that you can't hear right now, but everybody listening can hear this. Just enjoy this nice music. Very happy.
It's a nice spring day. Day of the Lions.
It's Monday morning. It's nice outside.
Monarchy.
So just sit back, relax, and enjoy some Reverse Take.
Reverse Take.
Here we go. Topic number 1. Parker, is Draymond Green the best defender ever?
You know, Owen, I don't believe that Draymond Green is the best defender ever.
I absolutely agree. Why do you think he's not the best defender ever?
I saw an Instagram reel, and it was Draymond Green getting destroyed and his ankles broken like 20 times in a row by a bunch of players in the league. One of them was Lance Stephenson, and I immediately lost all of my respect for Draymond's defense.
Normally, I would say you probably shouldn't be doing all of your research on Instagram Reels, but this is Reverse Take. You are so right. Those highlights are insanely accurate.
They are.
For example, defenders like Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan never got crossed up once in his life.
No, he didn't.
Never.
Not even by Allen Iverson.
I don't know why Draymond is saying this very ridiculous statement.
Yeah.
Yeah, great point, Parker.
Instagram Reels show you the entire picture.
Exactly. Topic number 2. This is going very well, I must say. Did Dak deserve his huge contract? I think he absolutely did. He's a great football player.
Oh, I agree with you, Owen. I agree. And why do you
Thank you.
believe that he deserved his contract?
Well, before he got hurt, he was playing very well. He was on pace to set passing yard records, possibly touchdown records. Cowboys' offense was firing on all cylinders. and then he got hurt, and they were pretty terrible. So they kind of had to pay him because it is very difficult to find good quarterbacks in the league.
I agree. And after his injury, all will be swell. There will be no road bumps, and I love cylinders.
Topic number 3. Would you take Gonzaga or the field to win March Madness?
We were just talking about dandelions, and I have to say, roaming around in a giant cornfield right now sounds amazing. I'm going with the field.
I couldn't have said it any better myself. I'm definitely taking anyone not named Gonzaga to win, because Gonzaga is very good.
They are very good.
They're the favorites to win, but in March Madness, anything can happen. It's too risky to put all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
Easter's coming up.
And what I was saying all along is maybe, just maybe, some of the eggs will crack. It's not called March safeness. It's called March Madness. Therefore, the field will win.
And when an egg cracks, little zigzags appear in its shell. Gonzaga, zags, I don't know. Connect the dots, people. Chick-fil-A. Do you go nuggets or strips?
I go nuggets.
I go strip. Cut. Okay, moving right along. Should the Patriots have re-signed Cam Newton this offseason, Parker?
I believe that they shouldn't have re-signed Cam Newton. I think they paid him too much money, and it's too much of a risk.
100%. I could not agree more. Cam Newton just didn't play very well last year. He was more of a running back than a quarterback. I know we normally call Lamar Jackson that, but Cam Newton was like a way worse version. Mm-hmm. And they paid him, I think, about $8 million, which is way too much money for a guy that should not be your starter.
I couldn't have said it better as myself. I wish I could put myself in your feet. Topic number 6. Who won the NBA trade deadline?
Well, Parker, I would say it was the Miami Heat. They went very low risk, high reward. They bought low on Victor Oladipo. They didn't have to give up very much, and they're probably going to get LaMarcus Aldridge on a buyout. So they didn't have to give up very many assets, and they got 2 guys that have the potential to be very boom or bust, and they're hoping that they get the boom.
I agree with that statement wholeheartedly, 1,000,000 percentile. And the reason why is because they have a bunch of other pieces, and they went to the
I was just about to say that.
Exactly. They went to the championship last year, and now their team is looking awfully mighty good. You never know what might happen this year. They could contend for the Eastern Conference, if not Finals, championship.
Well, but they're not going to beat the Sixers. We know that.
Oh, yes.
The Sixers will destroy them.
Oh, yes. But they'll contend.
Yeah. So that was Reverse Take. I feel like that went pretty well.
I like that. That was fun.
Let us know, because you can't just follow what everybody else does. First Take screams at each other.
All the media, and rightfully so, all the media, they get more views by yelling at each other, by bringing up controversial topics, You gotta stick to the basics.
We don't clickbait.
We agree wholeheartedly with each other.
Yes. Good sportsmanship.
Yeah. All right.
This handshake is lasting way too long. All right, Reverse Take is over, so now we don't have to... We'll still probably agree mostly. But let's get into the headlines for this week. There's a lot to go over. A lot of stuff happened, so these should be some pretty good headlines. Here we go. This week's headlines. NBA trade deadline. A lot of stuff happened. We start off with Aaron Gordon getting sent to the Nuggets. Also, Nikola Vucevic was shipped off to the Chicago Bulls. The 76ers acquired George Hill. Victor Oladipo was traded to the Miami Heat. JJ Redick is now a member of the Dallas Mavericks. Rajon Rondo went to the Clippers, and Lou Williams was sent to the Hawks. Norman Powell is now on the Portland Trailblazers. In the NFL, we had some draft trades. The 49ers moved up to 3rd overall. The Dolphins are at 6th. The Eagles are at 12. This is brought to you by JG Graybill!
Yeah!
Monday morning, everybody!
Rise and shine!
Wow, I was terrified I wasn't going to get through all of that. I had to rush a little bit there at the end. But we got it. Parker, you've been telling them about JG Graybill a lot. I realize I haven't done an ad read in a while, so I'll take it this week. JG Graybill, a fantastic, locally owned and operated plumbing company. They're also family owned and operated. You are going to want to contact them for any of your plumbing needs. They will get it done fast, and it will be done well. So call them at 717-768-3276 or go to their website, www.jggrable.com, to learn more. And when you mention All Sports All the Time, you will get $25 off of your purchase, which can get you
a student ID to Hempfield High School.
I don't know if we should be showing that. Should I blur that out?
No, this is.
I don't know. It's his old one. It's fine.
My
It's
old
fine.
student ID.
Nobody will know.
I don't know why it's still in
I
there.
am not sure if you can actually buy that, but
Let's go.
you can try.
Let's go!
Parker will sell it to you for $25 if
I will.
you really want it.
If you want it.
You could autograph it and just sell it to someone.
So that when I go famous, it will be worth thousands.
Yeah, it's an investment.
If not millions. It's a low risk investment.
And all because you had JG Graybill do your plumbing.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you wouldn't have had that $25. So it really
Exactly.
pays off.
So what we're saying is JG Graybill pays you to get their plumbing service.
I mean, you still have to pay them money. You just have to pay them $25 less. Yeah. So, as you probably noticed with all those headlines, a lot of stuff went down.
A ton.
In the NBA.
It was so awesome.
Parker, as the resident basketball guy,
Yes.
out of all of these moves, which one do you want to talk about first?
Let's talk about the Nuggets first.
All right.
And not just because they're number one on our list. Let's talk about them first because they're true contenders.
They are.
They're true contenders. Aaron Gordon is a very, very good player. Him and Zach LaVine, when they faced off in that dunk contest, I know this doesn't really relate at all, but they're two athletic freaks is what I'm trying to get at.
Yes.
And they were both kind of involved in
Yeah.
trades somewhat.
And Aaron Gordon has been mostly forgotten because he's been stuck
He
in
plays
Orlando.
in Orlando. It's a small market. It's like Shaq when he was in Orlando. He didn't get as much press. He got a ton of press. But then when he went to the Lakers,
Yep.
you know, he was hyped up even more. Now, the Nuggets aren't a huge city either. They're not like a giant market to play in. But
At
they
least they have a
have
good
their
team.
players are way better. Like
Yeah.
they're actually like contenders, if not front runners in the West. So yeah, it's gonna be great. The Joker's got a new weapon to pass to. I mean, those alley-oops that the Joker's gonna throw. I mean, whew, Jamal Murray throws some oops to Aaron Gordon, like, whew.
That could
And
be
Aaron
nice.
Gordon can handle the ball, like the guy's an all-around package.
Yeah.
It's
And the Lakers' injuries have really opened the door.
derailed the Lakers a little bit.
We thought that the Lakers would run away with this, but now you got the Jazz, Lakers, Nuggets, Clippers. They're all kind of
They're
vying
all
for that top
kinda
spot
there.
now.
They're all
So-
kind of there.
They took advantage of that opening, and Aaron Gordon will be a nice piece. Also, you talked about offense with the ball handling and stuff. He's just another guy that you can have guard Kawhi Leonard, LeBron James, and you're always going to want that when you're in the West because as many bodies as you can throw at those guys,
The
the better.
Wild West. Wild West.
As they call it. Let's see. What's the next one we should go with?
I think we should just talk about
we talked about the
Orlando.
Heat.
Let's talk about Orlando as a
Orlando
whole.
encompasses a lot. Yeah.
They are in a rebuilding phase, right? And it is smart to get rid of all your guys to get draft picks and stuff when you're rebuilding.
Yeah.
But the stuff they got in return, they got fleeced. It feels like they were trying too hard to get rid of their players. I feel like they needed to
They were a little desperate.
slowly kind of, like maybe this next off season, like kind of get rid of some guys. They didn't really get a whole ton for each of their players. They kind of got the short end of the stick, which is what you have to do sometimes. But it felt like it was a little bit too much.
Yeah, like there wasn't, of the, I think, 3 trades that they made, there wasn't one where you went, wow, they got such a haul
Yeah.
for that guy.
Yeah.
Which you would expect from the Vucevic trade.
Yeah.
Because he's a really good player, but they didn't really
He's
get
an
back
all-star. He's an all-star.
that much. They got Otto Porter, who's just like a filler because his
Wendell
contract
Carter.
is huge. They got Wendell Carter, took a flyer on him. They got some draft picks.
Like, Wendell
swaps,
Carter was
but
the
it's
number
like,
7 pick in the 2018 draft.
Yeah?
But he hasn't done very good. Maybe it's just because he's in Chicago. So maybe he'll blossom into a really good player, but I don't know.
It's a risky trade. They didn't get like great draft picks.
Yeah, no.
The Oklahoma City Thunder obviously added on to more of their draft picks.
How do they keep getting draft picks?
I believe they have. Isn't it like
it's like their players aren't very good, but then they put them in starting positions and they score like a decent amount, and now they're getting all these draft picks.
Over the next 7 years, don't the Thunder have like 30 picks?
Yeah,
it's something ridiculous.
It's I think it's like 35 picks
in 7 years.
Yeah, and that's just the first
insane.
2 rounds. That's just the first 2 rounds.
Yeah, dude, if the Thunder don't build a dynasty with all these picks,
they've got to. I mean, there's just too many picks. Like they literally can just have their pick of whoever. Say
if you throw a dart enough, you're gonna hit eventually.
The thing is too, they really like a player. They're not in that position to draft him. Give away 2 of your picks to move up. You have like
you'll barely dent your.
You can basically get
crop.
any player you want.
Yeah,
you can
true.
get any.
I didn't even think about trading up.
You can get any 5 players you want with that amount of picks. Like you can trade into the top 3.
You could trade into number 1 if you give up enough of your picks.
Oh yeah. So
if they really want to
you
get
can basically get your 5 guys no matter what, and then you'll still have like a ton of picks left over.
Yeah.
It's just it's insane. Like it's gonna be interesting the wheeling and dealing they can do to see if they actually come through on their selections.
Yeah.
But if they do, and Shy already at the helm, got 2 years of experience underneath them.
Parker's big into Shy. I don't know how much we've talked about this on the podcast, but we talk about it all the time.
Last year he had CP3 mentoring him. The kid's good. He's like a mini CP3 in my vision.
How many Shy cards do you currently have that you're planning
5.
to sell? 5.
Well, I'm not planning to sell them. I'm planning to hold them.
Well, okay, but like
I have 5.
You're holding them
and
because you think he's gonna be really good.
Yes.
And it'll be yes.
He just got injured. Did you see that? But I'm not worried about it at all.
It's long term. Long term. It'll be fine.
Yeah, I didn't buy his cards to sell them like a week later. No, I bought him to hold him for like a year, and then we'll see where he's at.
Yeah. Speaking of seeing where we're at, let me redo that. Speaking of seeing where you're at, we were terrified during lunch on Friday, right? Was it Thursday or Friday that the deadline was? Thursday. We were terrified at lunch on Thursday because the NBA trade deadline was quickly approaching. And the Sixers were, rumors were flying that the Sixers were at the 1 yard line. They were about to acquire Kyle Lowry. It was almost a done deal.
And Kyle Lowry was preparing to go to Philly.
Yes, we were terrified because we didn't want to give
nothing
against Kyle Lowry.
It's just the depth of the Sixers.
Yeah.
If you're not a Sixers fan, you don't really know about how much depth they have.
They have a lot of depth.
But the Sixers' depth is crazy. Yeah. Their backup players are really, really good.
They have 2 MVPs on their team. Joel Embiid, who's obviously MVP. We know about that. And they have a guy they drafted in the second round this year, Paul Reed. G League MVP.
G League MVP.
Just won it a couple weeks ago.
He's and they can move him up now. Like he wasn't
they
even
just did.
on
They
their
signed
roster.
him to a 2-way contract, so he's on the team now.
Exactly. And they have so many guys. So many guys. Owen, if you wanna list them.
Well, specifically in the Kyle Lowry trade.
Yeah, in the Lowry trade.
They wanted Matisse Thybulle, Tyrese Maxey, and 2 first-round picks, which is way too much.
Way too much.
For a 34-year-old guy that you're going to have for half a season who's pretty good, but not enough that he would push the Sixers over where it's like, okay, we're definitely better than the Nets now.
Yeah. The Owen brought up a good point to me. He's like, the advantage we have on the Nets is that we're younger than the Nets. They're going to get older quicker, and we have all these young guys that are still really good. And we can build off of that, build for our future if we give up all these all of our depth to get a Kyle Lowry who's actually on the older end. He's in his
34.
34.
Yeah.
Then it's not going to, long term, it's not going to be beneficial.
Yeah.
So getting George Hill in a smaller trade where we gave up, and we also got
2 second-round picks.
Ignas Bragzinis or whatever. I don't know his name.
I could not pronounce it better than that, so let's go with that one.
But he's never gotten a real chance to be. So, like, I think he's actually a pretty decent player from what I've seen.
Yeah, the George Hill move was really good. We approved of that one. But, this is not the year to go all in. I would understand there's certain years where it's like, yeah, you would want to go all in on Kyle Lowry. Like, if Embiid and Simmons are aging, and it's like, okay, we're going to make one last run at it. We're going to try to take down whoever we're up against. But it's like the year that your players are young and you're going to have to probably in the playoffs eventually go up against the greatest scoring big three of all time.
Yeah.
It's probably not a great idea to trade away your future and your second best defensive player. Because Matisse Thybulle, while not super important in the playoffs and maybe in the first couple rounds, there's going to be a game or two when we're playing the Nets, hopefully, in the playoffs, where you're going to have to put Matisse on James Harden or Kyrie Irving.
And he's a
for
good
a
defender.
lot of the game. Yeah, Matisse Thybulle, for those of you who don't know, he's a lesser-known player. He was famous in the bubble for his YouTube channel. He is a lockdown defender.
Lockdown.
And also he's young. He's 22. And you don't want to give that up to get a 34-year-old Kyle Lowry to try to go all in this year.
Yeah.
When you have, like you said, the age advantage.
So
they
there's
didn't
our
do
thoughts. Yeah, they didn't do it, and we're happy because we keep our depth.
Yes,
keep our depth.
So successful trade deadline for us. Successful trade deadline for pretty much everybody except the Raptors, who failed to get rid of Kyle Lowry, and now he's just a free agent. So good luck.
They shouldn't have asked for so much. Hey, just take our 2 players and not the 2 first-round picks, and you would have been fine.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I still probably would have given up Matisse, but
But I think I would have taken it at that point. The 2 first-round picks sent me over the
hypotheticals. Yeah, yep. But we didn't do it, so it's all good. Trades that Philadelphia teams did pull the trigger on.
Yeah,
there was sudden movement
early trade deadline.
Draft. Yeah, basically, I'm thinking I have a conspiracy. The NBA was getting a ton of attention, trade deadline. The NFL was like, you know what? People haven't been talking about us enough.
Yeah.
Make some trades, people. So a month before the draft.
A month.
That's what makes this so shocking.
Yeah,
Nobody saw this coming. It was totally blindsided.
It feels like the draft should be like next week with this information.
Yeah. So the first the first bomb that dropped, Miami was at the number 3 spot. They traded that to the 49ers. So they traded the number 3 overall pick, and they got back the number 12 pick, which is where the 49ers were, the 49ers' first-round pick in 2022, the 49ers' third-round pick in 2022, and the 49ers' first-round pick in 2023. So the Dolphins just continue adding to their ridiculous amount of draft picks. They're not quite on Oklahoma City Thunder level, but
they're the Oklahoma City Thunder of the NFL.
Stockpiling draft picks. We weren't sure if they were going to take a quarterback, maybe have competition with Tua. This tells us they're all in on Tua. They're going to build a great team around him if they hit on some of these draft picks. Again, the Thunder idea of just stockpiling them.
Yeah.
And so that was we thought that was it. That was the trade for the day. Like, wow, that happened really early. Strange. And then another bomb dropped in which Miami traded the number 12 pick that they got from the Niners to the Eagles. So the Eagles were at number 6. They moved back to 12 now. So the Eagles got the Dolphins' 12th pick. They got the Dolphins' 4th round pick. And they got the Dolphins' 2022 first-round pick, which is big because the Eagles are rebuilding. We'll get into the details of this, but getting a first-rounder in that trade is big.
Big.
And the Eagles also gave up their 5th-round pick. So basically, they moved up from their 5th-round pick to the Dolphins' 4th-round pick spot. So now the Niners are at 3, the Dolphins are at 6, and the Eagles are at 12. Should we just start Niners, then Dolphins, then save the Eagles for last?
Sure, yeah, let's do it.
All right. San Francisco 49ers. They're obviously taking a quarterback, right?
Yeah, and see, that's the thing. So we were discussing about the Eagles moving up to 3 because they were in talks about doing that. Presumably the top 2 is going to be Trevor Lawrence and then Zach Wilson.
Yes.
So now they're at 3, right? And they want their franchise QB. Probably, I think Justin Fields is the next option, but they don't have to go Justin Fields. They could go Trey Lance, but they're probably going to go Justin Fields.
Yeah, Justin Fields is the consensus.
Yeah.
that everybody assumes they'll go with, but we've seen crazier
Daniel
things
Jones.
happen.
Daniel Jones, nobody thought Baker Mayfield.
Like, we've seen Baker Mayfield go number one.
There's been scenarios like every single year.
Stuff happens. And that's also beneficial. Say the Jets mess something up and don't take Zach Wilson. Then they're right there to scoop him up.
Yeah.
Not saying that's going to happen, but putting yourself in the third spot opens up a lot of possibilities.
Jimmy G is looking on the outside in right now.
Jimmy G to the Patriots.
Back to the Patriots.
Bill Belichick's playing chess, not checkers.
So you're saying
we need to make a shirt of Bill Belichick playing chess. Somebody please make that shirt. I would buy it. So yeah, the Niners, imagine if they don't take a quarterback. There's no way you move up to number 3 and not take a quarterback, right? Like, that has to be it.
Yeah,
it'd be shocking if they didn't.
The only other position would be that really, really good offensive lineman out of Oregon.
Penei Sewell.
Yeah.
Sewell?
I don't know. That's why I just said offensive lineman out of Oregon.
Good call. Good call.
So, yeah, I mean, because he's like a super good offensive lineman. So,
I think he's the only one in like the top 15.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like you either get him or you're waiting a little while.
And like he seems like the kind of player that's going to be there for 12 years, be like all pro,
Yeah.
At least that's what we've seen based on the analysis. So,
but we're assuming the Niners are going to take a quarterback.
Uh-huh.
Obviously, we'll see what happens when it happens. I'd say that's a pretty good deal for the Niners.
Yeah.
You have a good team. If you feel really good about one of the quarterbacks that could fall to you, why not? Dolphins. I think the Dolphins did the best in these trades because they gained a bunch of draft picks.
A ton. And they only moved back 3 spots.
Exactly.
3 spots. They only moved back 3 spots. They felt confident enough about Tua that they decided, all right, let's move back. We get a ton more picks. And hey, maybe the Dolphins, they're in a good spot. Maybe that offensive lineman falls, but if not, it doesn't matter. They get one of the best wide receivers.
Yes, to help out Tua as well.
To help out Tua. Because they need a wide receiver as well, just like the Eagles. And they get their choice at wide receiver. Or tight end, Kyle Pitts. But he can be classified as both of them because he's really good.
Yeah. So the Dolphins presumably will get a weapon for Tua. And then they will continue getting weapons for him the next 3 years with all their picks they have.
Yep.
The Dolphins are looking really good, which pains me to say because the Eagles now have their first-round pick for next year. So we are now rooting for the Dolphins to do bad this season so we get a higher pick. I doubt it's going to happen. And the last move that was made, the Philadelphia Eagles, we were very angry about this trade at first. As we've thought about it a little bit longer, we're not quite as angry about it.
I still don't like it a whole lot, but I think it's decent.
Yeah.
Because right now we're still going to get really good talent. Whether that's at wide receiver, which I hope it is, unless Howie screws up somehow. But we don't get our choice at that talent. We don't get Devonta Smith. We don't get, maybe we will if they fall, but we can't get our choice. We're definitely not getting Jamar Chase.
You're putting your fate in the hands of the teams ahead of you, which is the risk every time you trade back.
But the 2 teams ahead of us at 10 and 11 are the Giants and the Cowboys.
Which is terrifying.
Yeah. So, that's not good. They're just going to draft who we want. Just look at who the Cowboys drafted last year. CeeDee Lamb. Imagine who we could have had CeeDee Lamb if they would have lost the last game of the season 2 years ago.
The good news is people were trashing them for throwing the game against Washington. They couldn't have gotten these extra picks with that nice 6th overall pick if they hadn't lost.
If they would have won versus Washington,
they would have been at 9 or 10, I believe.
They would have had one less first round pick.
Yeah.
So that loss gave them a first round pick, pretty much.
Yeah. Basically, what the Eagles did was they moved back 6 spots to gain a first round pick next year, which in theory isn't bad, but like you said, it's always risky because. And this trade is going to be...
The players available to them at 6 are remarkable. They're so good.
This trade is going to be defined, like most draft trades, just based on who falls to you. That's how we're going to determine whether or not Howie did a good job with this trade is who gets picked ahead of them. Which is, personally, I would not want to do that. I would rather have my pick. But
and the thing is, there's usually a lot of offensive linemen in there, but there's literally just that one guy. So now Detroit, who could use an offensive lineman, basically all these teams that could use O linemen are probably not going to choose from them because there's not that top level O lineman this year.
Basically, what we're rooting for as Eagles fans in this upcoming draft is a bunch of quarterbacks get taken in the top 10. Like 4, maybe 5, but probably like if 4 quarterbacks get taken in the top 10, we could have a Devonta Smith
and
fall to us.
You think about it, like every year you have these QB talents, right? They're drafted in the first round, right? Like Lamar Jackson was like one of the last ones drafted in the first round. Like Sam Darnold up there, Daniel Jones up there. But what's his name? Jalen Hurts drafted in the second round, right?
Where are you going with this?
He's just as good as Daniel, but like he wasn't a first top 10 pick,
Yeah.
So that I feel like that's beneficial to the Eagles because they didn't have to spend a first round pick on a QB.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they did. They spent a first round pick on Carson Wentz.
Yeah, but we're not. That's over with. We don't talk. That name is forbidden.
Oh, this is not.
We're not. That's like the forbidden forest in Harry Potter, and Carson Wentz hunts in forests. Therefore, it's illegal. Illegal.
Oh, it always comes back to Carson Wentz and his hunting every time.
Yes, because imagine if
you really got to expand your repertoire.
If he didn't
when it comes to trashing
if he didn't kill those deer, they would be so much better.
Sure. Speaking of Carson Wentz, I wasn't planning on
Lance either.
Bringing this up.
He also
because he's from North Dakota. All the people from North Dakota always hunting.
Yeah, I mean, imagine if there wasn't that giant rock structure there. North Dakota.
Right. I wasn't planning on bringing this up, but Carson Wentz is going to wear number 2 for the Colts. Did we talk about this last week?
Oh no,
not?
2 I used to like the number 2.
Did we talk about this last week or not?
No, we didn't.
I don't remember. Carson Wentz is going to wear number 2 for the Colts. Why? He can't okay.
Why?
I've talked about numbers before, right?
Uh-huh.
For some reason I remember people's numbers and stuff. Not only that, you can tell what numbers fit a certain person. And general rule of thumb, taller quarterbacks, bigger quarterbacks look better with double digits.
For example, Andrew Luck.
Yeah.
Ben Roethlisberger.
Peyton Manning. No, that's single digits. Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes. But then the smaller...
Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah. But then the smaller, faster guys, Russell Wilson, Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, single digits. Just a general... Carson Wentz is 6'5", big, he can't be running around here wearing number 2. It looks ridiculous.
Josh Allen.
17, exactly. You get the...
I don't even know any of the players' numbers I listed, but most of them...
they were
Big
Ben is the exception, but 7 is at least a slim number. 2 is very wide. It doesn't work on a tall guy. Let's just... I don't know why he's doing that. So we're not sure how we feel about the Eagles trade. That's where that started.
Yeah.
It's risky is basically, I think, the best way I can summarize it. But it has the potential for a big payoff next year with a bunch of picks.
Yeah, it could be really good.
So we'll see.
We'll see.
It's a risky move by Howie, and we have really no reason to not trust him. So
yeah, I mean, he's been 100% truthful to us.
We're going to go with it. In Howie, we trust all the time. All right, quick sports break. Parker's going to give you guys some SAT advice.
Oh, yeah.
We took the SATs a month ago. No, 3
About
weeks
a
ago.
week ago.
3 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
Parker.
2 weeks ago.
Whoa, wait, really?
2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Parker
Saturdays
ago.
Loved taking the SATs. We walked out of there and he said, I'm never doing that again.
Oh,
great.
Oh my
gosh. It's a great way to spend our morning. But, Parker,
it was
give
so bad.
The children out there your SAT advice as an experienced veteran.
As a veteran of the SAT test-taking world, I have one truthful fact that will guarantee you the top 90th percentile on the SATs. It's been proven time and time again by at least 2 people.
That's what you meant when you said time and time.
Yeah,
those 2 times.
Time and time. 2 times. Sipping from that fountain of knowledge. Here is the thing to do. Do not study.
So the thing to not do.
So the thing to not do. Do not study.
Wait,
and here's
if
why.
the thing to not do is to not study, then that means you should study.
Oh, well, you just told me that.
So the thing to do is not study.
The thing to do is not study.
Or the thing to not do is study.
The thing to not do is study. Yeah.
That cleared things up.
Oh.
That's basically what taking the SAT reading is like.
Oh, yeah, that's how your head feels.
They intentionally try to mess with you on some of the questions.
Yeah.
Where there's like 3 answers that you think are right.
Yes, they do it on purpose. And they can all be right. It's opinion based. And you have to just guess randomly. Anyway, I got a really good score. What was it? 1380, right?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't study at all because that's how you do it. That's how you get a good score. That's top 8%. I think.
It's not because Parker is naturally smart at all.
No, I'm not naturally.
This is hard. Not studying is hard work.
It is very hard.
Yeah.
You have to be disciplined.
Dedication is the name of the game.
When everybody around you wants you to study, to try to do well, no, you just avoid them.
Do not go with the flow.
Do not, exactly. You see this flow? It doesn't just happen overnight. You can't study, and you have to spend your time doing things that are way more valuable, but don't seem valuable.
At the time.
And I have a second example. Owen over here, my man Owen.
Do we have... Okay.
He spent a solid hour and a half studying, which, I was going to say, that's way too long. But it's under the 2-hour limit that I set the bar, so I accepted it.
All right, I'm glad I made the cut. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Top 4% of people, Owen is better than 96% of people.
At test taking. Not in general. Don't say that. That sounds bad. Let's not.
Owen is actually average. He's an average awesome person.
Let's go with that.
Yeah. So, test taking wise, he is extraordinarily insane. So yeah, anyway.
And it's all because I hired Parker. I paid him $10,000 a month to follow his program.
He followed my learning program, took the SATs once, doesn't have to take them ever again. You see some people take the SATs more than once to get their score super, super, super good, but that's because they study so much. If you just don't study, take them once, you'll be perfectly A-okay.
Brilliant.
Now Owen and me can get into whatever college we want.
Almost. Not.
Except if it's an Ivy League.
Not quite.
We weren't really. Were you planning to go to an Ivy League?
I was not. No.
And
I'm not
even planning to go to any school. So, we're good. We're safe.
Dude, we have to do a podcast episode where you and your dad just talk about don't go to college. Don't study. Don't go to college. Don't get a job. We keep escalating it. Who needs jobs? You'll be fine.
Don't breathe. Don't drink.
Don't exercise. It's overrated.
Exercise is overrated. Hottest takes of all.
Yeah. Just sit around and watch March Madness all the time.
Sitting is illegal, but you can't stand either. You have to just lay in bed with your arms crossed and your eyes closed for eternity.
Standing isn't the new smoking. Smoking is the new smoking.
Smoking is the new standing.
Yeah.
Standing isn't the new smoking. Smoking is the new standing.
Whoa. And yeah, I'm assuming Luke's taking the SAT next year, so he's
I'm
already.
Gonna get him on
did he
regime.
Pre-enroll in your program, or do you still have to convince him?
I still have to convince him.
Strange, because it's proven success. You would think he would be jumping on the bandwagon already, but
100%
okay.
Success rate.
Strange decision, Luke, but you'll come around eventually.
He will, and if I see any materials studying wise, I will rip it up.
Wow.
And burn it.
Oh, and burn it. Wow. Okay.
We'll shred it and then burn it.
That's good. Leave no trace.
Exactly.
Yep.
Can't let the police figure out that they studied.
The police? Wait, what? Hold on. Okay. All right, let's wrap up this episode with a really quick segment of He Won't Be Good. We talked about the NFL draft, so this kind of fits. Parker, basically how this works, very, very simple game. Probably the most simple segment we've ever done. You name a prospect in this year's NFL draft, and then you just say, this person won't be good, so that in the future, if that person ends up actually being good, or if they end up being bad, we have that clip to prove forever that you were very right or very wrong.
The biggest bust in this draft class is going to be Rashad Batman.
I believe
I don't
Bateman.
like...
I think there's an E in there.
Rashad
Batman is not a bust. If his name was Rashad Batman, he'd be a top 5 pick. But because it's Bateman, not nearly as good.
Okay, and therefore he's a bust. He can't get off the line of scrimmage with ease, and he can't beat you with his shakes or his size.
Yeah, he's only 6'2".
He's one of the worst route runners in college football, and he was last in the country in yards per route run from an inside alignment as a senior in 2020.
We definitely didn't pull up Pro Football Focus's analysis and then just say the exact opposite of them. So I also went with a wide receiver expected to be picked in the mid to late range of the first round. Rondale Moore. Everyone's been freaking out about him on Instagram because he has these cool videos of him jumping high and being jacked. Sure, everybody did the same thing with DK Metcalf, and he ended up being amazing. Not this time.
No.
Rondale Moore is only 5'9", and Rondale Moore will not be good. He never got a chance to prove that he can win as an outside receiver, and he definitely hasn't shown enough from the slot to be a first rounder. Also, he can't break tackles because he's so tiny. So, do not take Rondale Moore any NFL teams.
You said Moore never got a chance to prove he can win as an outside receiver. You didn't change it.
Well, yeah, because that's actually negative.
Oh, yeah,
anyways.
true. You're right.
I just kept it negative because it was there. Because their qualifier was but, and I just said and.
Oh, yeah.
So,
True.
Rondale Moore, he won't be good. I really want the Eagles to draft one of the players that we've said for he won't be good.
Yeah.
That would just be a great clip to play over and over. I think we've said enough players that are supposed to be drafted in the first round that we're going to hit on one of the people that
and one of them
draft.
will be insane. One of them would be like crazy.
Yeah.
Quiddy.
So either way, it'll be funny. No matter who gets drafted. What? Oh,
this guy
Parker's
must have,
scrolling through a list of prospects now.
This guy must have terrible work ethic. His first name is Quiddy.
And his last name is Payne. Oh, no, there's no N. Pay. We're not good at reading today.
Quiddy. Well,
oh man,
that's it for today.
Episode 93.
Thank you, and don't Quiddy.
Unless it's on the SAT. No.